Hello, everybody. It's me, Seth the DM, and a special little guest that's not so special, Adam.
Not so special. That's exactly right.
You're a regular here.
How you doing, Seth? Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for guesting on my podcast. All of you listeners are probably wondering what we're doing, or maybe you're not because you read the title of this episode. But we are doing a prologue.
Woohoo!
And you're probably like, why are we doing a prologue in the middle of it? Well, we're doing it because we didn't want to miss like a bi-weekly upload over the holidays. And most of our guys are like on Christmas break and stuff, so we didn't want to miss it for you. We wanted to still give you some content, but at the same time, we didn't know what to do. So we're like, why don't we do a Peterson prologue? We did a prologue for all the other like player characters like Zippy, Darian, and Norman. So let's do one for Peterson.
Man, I'm down. I mean, I didn't know that we were going to do this. You told me just to hop on, and like my dinner's waiting for me. So I'm just. But if you want to
like,
do it,
this is a meeting, and you're like, hit record.
Yeah, like actually, like my brother's downstairs. We were gonna like hang out, but he just said, "Okay, just hop on Skype real quick." So now I guess he'll wait. I'm just texting him right now. Hold on. And yeah, I guess this will take like 20 minits or so, and we'll just get
maybe 20 minutes to like an hour and a half.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, he'll just wait. He's got Smash Bros.
He'll just say. All right, perfect. So, just for listeners as well. Oh, before we get into it, we're just gonna do the mid-roll now or whatever because we're not gonna stop this train once it starts.
Woohoo!
Basically, the next real episode, back on the mountain quest, is gonna be dropping January.
Weird.
New year, 2020 vision. Isn't that a funny joke? Ha ha ha. It's going to be dropping January the 14th, that Tuesday. So, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program then. And if you want to support us, throw us an iTunes review or like, tell your friends and your mom about us and, or like Patreon. We have one of those and.
Oh yeah. You know what? Not to interrupt you, Seth. Last but not least, just kind of tying on to our Patreon or just showing us support is, we recently released our Great Pass Around 2 episode, and just wanted to say like a huge heartfelt thank you for all the love that we received on Twitter for it, even on Facebook too. Just everyone seemed to love the songs, love the musical, and if you haven't heard it yet, please go back and listen to it because we're really proud of it, and we just want to say thank you for all the love that we received on that. That was great.
Yeah, like, you know, we really upped our game, I thought, this year from our last Christmas musical. And I'm not sure how we're going to top it next year, but we're going to have to, I guess, now, because we've built up this reputation. So Adam, get writing songs.
Okay. And I think we've been talking a lot about how we're going to get those songs into listener hands. So we're going to like talk about that over the new year, and that'll be happening really soon, I think.
Yeah. We're going to try and get those songs to you. We've had a lot of requests for people being like, I want the songs on my Christmas playlist. We definitely won't get them out for Christmas, unfortunately, but we will get them to you ASAP. I think they're timeless. I think you can listen to them in April.
I was about to say,
still hold up.
Shame on whoever said that about the Christmas playlist, because these songs are timeless. So.
Timeless! Put it on your regular playlist.
Okay, I'm just going to stop talking. Let's get on with this show.
All right, yeah, let's do it. So, just for listeners, this is all going to take place before Peterson was at the Cat Town Lundy and met the guys. I think that's obvious because it's a prologue, but yeah. But anyways, you get it. So, just off the coast of the mainland, between the monster capital Dawn, that's the city's name, and Lundy, where the mainland like Cat Town is, there's a series of islands that connect them, and there's drawbridges that go across from one to the other. All the islands that are connected to with these like drawbridges and just, you know, planks and string and rope, basically they are connected and they are a part of Dawn's territory, the Monster City people. You, Peterson, grew up in this territory with all the fellow monster people. And by monster people, I'm talking like bugbears, gnolls, other things, you know, stereotypically monstery people. So you grew up there, but for whatever reason, you are now finding yourself on the island just between the mainland and yourself. I said that terribly. You find yourself on the island just before the mainland. There's one last bridge to cross. And this bridge is connected to this island that is heavily forested. And Peterson, you are currently walking through this forest in the night. It's raining. It's a thunderstorm right now. And are you scared? Is Peterson afraid of the dark?
Well, I have dark vision, so until recently I was not, but now I am. We'll say that.
Okay, well, you can see all the like crows that are staring at you through the trees. You can see, just you hear and see movement in bushes off in the corner of your eyes. But you're alone and you're walking through. And all of a sudden, as you're walking through this forest, trying to make your way to the bridge, following this trail, you start to step in some sticky stuff. Your feet are getting stuck to the floor, kind of. It's harder to walk. And you look down and you see your feet are getting like entangled in webs, spider webs.
Well, shoot. Okay. I immediately look around to see if there are any spiders. Am I stuck?
No, not completely. It's just kind of like how you'd walk through the snow, like high knees.
Okay.
Like it slows you down a lot.
Yeah, I'm immediately gonna look for spiders, and just as I'm known to do, I'm gonna just pull down my mask really briefly, just to see if there's anything following me, any traces of anything following me in the ethereal plane somehow, but mostly looking for spiders.
You pull down your wooden mask, covers your face, and you see into the ethereal plane. And you look around, and the rain has disappeared. And you see the webs on your feet have like a slight bluish magical glow to them. Like they're slightly magical, not completely. But you're looking through. Make a spider check. And by spider, I mean perception check.
Oh, those are the best perception checks by spider.
Spider check!
My spider sense is literally tingling. Okay, 19. No, sorry. Bad math. No. Yeah, 19. Good math.
That's a good spider check. Just like Peter Parker, your ears start tingling and your senses go wild, and you look up into the left and you see in the trees there's an arachne person. And arachne people, for listeners, they're these basically half human body, half spider body people. They're like giant spiders, but instead of the spider head, it's like a human torso and arms and head. So yeah, it's like basically from the waist down, they just have this giant spider body with like the legs and the abdomen and everything. And they're up in a tree wearing this like helmet that covers their entire face except their mouth. And you can see they have this kind of large open mouth with these spider-like teeth and fangs. And they drop from the trees and land beside you. And they're like,
"Oh, a goblin. I haven't seen one come through here in a long time."
Okay, first off, do I know anything about these guys? Like, do I know what they eat? Typically, I know we're in monster territory. Do they still eat smaller monsters? Like stuff that I would know. Do I know anything?
spider history check.
Oh, yeah, spider sense, baby. Wow, okay. The Force is with me. I just saw Star Wars. History. Okay, modified 20.
Okay. Yeah, you even though you grew up on the complete opposite side of the Dawn territory, you still have heard of these arachne people. They're kind of rare. They stay to the shadows or underground mostly. But you know that they seem to be like true neutrals, it seems, or neutral chaotic. They could eat smaller monsters. They have before. They usually eat people or things like that. Just like a spider, they entrap the fly in their webs, spin them up, and then eat their guts. So yeah, they totally could eat goblins, and they probably have before. But specifically in this area, since you rolled so high, that This spider is most likely kind of just like a gatekeeper between the edge of the Dawn territory and the mainland.
Okay, sick. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna raise my hand in like a general greeting, and I'm gonna say, "Salutations, fellow compatriot. My name is Peterson, sole survivor of the Eastern Spear Goblin tribe, and the sole apprentice of the late Grand Mage Althazar Creighton. I wish not to bother you, nor linger in your territory for any longer than necessary. I only mean to pass through to the mainland."
Curious. Monsters don't like to leave to the mainland. What is your purpose?
I have 3 purposes in one. The first of those 3 is to seek a place where I am not the lowest species. And as one...
That's going to be hard for you.
Yes, my aspirations are tall, 8-legged one. But as someone who is used to dwelling in the dark places, I'm sure you can empathize with my plea. The second thing is to bring honor to my tribe. I'm not sure how widespread it is known, but my tribe has come to a quite sudden and unfortunate end. And I seek to find a way to not only honor them, but to somehow restore the Eastern Goblin tribe. And last but not least, it is to escape something that endlessly pursues me.
Well, it is not up to me what you do. I was just curious. And which tribe was it again?
The Eastern Spear Goblin tribe.
Never heard of it.
Well, don't worry, because they're dead. But
They find that funny. They laugh in
8 high fives all around. So there's only one, right?
Yeah, there's only the one.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of adopt a slightly more casual posture, and I think my mask was up this entire time. So that's right? So I'm just gonna say, well, again, my name is Peterson, 8-legged one. What should I call you?
You may call me Lizop.
Lace-up.
Yes.
Well, Lace-up, if ever I'm asked of the 8-legged ones, I will speak well of you. And I go to
I don't need a reference. I don't need. But okay, I appreciate it.
Well, forgive me, my type, we need a lot of referrals where how we do things. Anyways, I was great talking with you. I will be on my way. And I go to kind of casually kind of edge around them and walk past.
You're walking past still with like webs like sticking to your feet on the floor.
You might want to do something about your landscaping. I mean, I don't want to pry or overstep, but I am literally overstepping these cobwebs. Quite a plight.
Shh. I've taken a liking to you. Peterson. Show me your feet.
Okay. I'm gonna pull my foot up.
And Lazob comes towards you as you put your foot up.
Okay.
And they, just like Hawk and a loogie, they, go back and they spit on your foot, and it's like this light acid, and it melts away the webs on your feet. But it doesn't burn the shoe through, just the webs. And Lazob is like,
there you may travel easier. You are headed to the wooden bridge, yes?
That's correct.
Well, I will accompany you. I will see that you make it there.
I appreciate the companionship. Thank you.
And the two of you go off.
What a great prologue. That was so great. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you on the 14th.
And it all went fine from there. That's it. You just had to meet a spider person. You and Lazob make it to the edge of the forest, and it clears off, and you see that you're at the edge of a cliff, and there is the staked poles of the beginning of this wooden bridge that goes across for quite a ways to the mainland. And across, even through the rain, you can see at the other end of this wooden bridge that crosses this kind of violent sea beneath you right now is this giant stone gateway with these two like huge pillars and this giant wooden doors. You can see there's torches placed on the top edges of this gate, and you can even see that there's movement up above of other people. The bridge, it would take probably like it would be like if it was a calm day and it was a nice solid bridge, it would probably take like maybe half an hour to like 45 minutes to cross. But since it's like wooden and it's like swaying in the wind, it would take a bit more time. So it's quite a distance. And it's also like, storming right now, so it just makes it even more difficult.
Oh crap, that sucks.
Lazab says,
"There is your destination. Will you cross?"
Well, it looks pretty dangerous, Lace-Up. I'm having second thoughts, I must admit.
I thought you had more of a spine, goblin.
Well, I am looking through my spells to see if there's any way I can do this alive. I mean, how dangerous do I think these woods are, besides Lace-Up here?
survival check.
Okay. Ooh, 5.
You don't know. It was dark and scary. It's probably dangerous, and you just don't know.
Oh, boy.
It was very dark and scary.
Okay, I'm going to say, what the hell? I'm a shaman. I have means of achieving the extraordinary. Lace-Up, are you crossing with me, or is this farewell?
I must not cross. I'm a guardian of dawn. You see, if you cross, it may be difficult, even beyond the breach. It's monsters like us usually cannot cross this barrier. For on the other side is the Church of Friel.
I know not of this church.
Friel is the goddess of logic and a sworn foe to Gnala, the god of beasts, our god.
I see. Wow, this is so interesting. I just want to, ask you a million questions about this world. Okay. But there's a huge storm behind me. I'm just thinking about... Okay.
You are quite pretty, though, Peterson, and I have taken a liking to you. If you seek an alternative path, I could show you one, but it may have its own trials.
Well, I don't take well to falling off tall bridges in the big storms of life, as you can see. A little metaphorical as well. I believe maybe it was more than pure chance that brought us together, Lace-Up. I will go with you. Actually, I'm going to say that, but I'm also going to see... Can I read him to tell if he's, planning to, eat me?
Make an insight check.
I mean, I think he already had his chance, but... Natural 1. Frig me.
You are you don't know. You probably believe whatever. You just don't know. You can't read them.
Lace-Up, I think you're my father. Yeah.
What?
Okay. Yes, Pete. I will go with you.
Wise choice. Come this way.
And you go back into the forest. As they lead you back into the forest, back to that area where the webs were, they divert your path and go off the path deeper just into the woods. So you're stepping over twigs and bushes. It's rough terrain. Lazab is kind of going from tree to tree with its spider legs. And then you see the entrance to a cave. His cave is surrounded with more webs and everything. And it seems like this is going to be a spider nest lair. And Lazab just says,
Come in, come in.
Oh, man. I don't know about this. Lace-Up. Lace-Up. Oh,
Yes.
man. I am trusting you. I just want you to know this looks pretty ominous to one of my species.
Well, I'm sure I wouldn't like the architecture of a goblin village. Everyone has their own aesthetic.
That is true. But damn. All right, let's do it. I'm going to pull down my mask, and we're going to go forward. This is for asthma. This just helps keep the air clean for me. Don't be offended by this. This is fine.
I have a cousin who suffers the same illness.
You know, it's the smog at early ages exposure. You know, all the campfires and the shaman smoke. I'm sure you relate. It's quite unfortunate.
Tell me about it. All right, Peterson, you enter first.
Okay. I don't want to die.
Peterson, the most trusting goblin, starts walking into this web-filled cave. Even though you have dark vision and your mask down, so you can see pretty well, but you see it's just webs over webs. Like, you're having to kind of, like, you know, brush them out of your path every now and then. In the distance, you go down these multiple cave pathways, and Lazob is telling you, like, you know, go left, go right, and down the other pathways you can hear the crawling of spiders and, like, their little legs, like, and it sounds like there's more than just, you know, Lazob in here, but you haven't seen anyone else.
I'm gonna look. Sorry, just really quick. Can I, like, if I glance behind me, can I see my path in the webbing? Like, is like, would I be able to trace my steps out?
Perception check. Actually, I'll make survival check.
Ooh. Are you sure you don't want it to be perception, though?
Yes, I do.
What the frig? Another natural one.
If you are in here for, you don't know. You would not make it out here with a guide. You, like, without a guide. You just do not make your way.
Okay.
You keep going down, and you see the cave ends, and you see there's, like, a pit. And Lazob comes around you, and the pit is also just filled with webs, and you can see the bottom of it is like 30 feet down, and there's just more webs, but Lazob attaches to the ceiling, like climbs overhead, and spins a web, a thick web, and descends down and says,
"Use this to descend."
It's like a little rope.
I'm going to touch it with one hand first and see if it sticks, if I get trapped on it.
You touch it, and it's like, it's kind of sticky, but, like, you can let go of it relatively easy.
What a useful feature to your species. And I'm going to take it and start climbing down. Oh, man.
You grab on with both hands, and it's kind of, like, slippery and sticky. Like, the webs are sticking to your hands a little bit, but, like, you're sliding down the rope. And you touch at the bottom. And you look around.
Oh, man.
And you see so many glowing eyes, like, all encircled, and you see that you actually landed on this kind of mound that's raised, maybe looking kind of like a table, it's like a giant, just circular table at the bottom of this pit, but it's all, like, covered in webs and everything, but all the eyes you can see are from Arachne people, and there's just a bunch of them of all different shapes and sizes. And Lazob's there, and he says,
"Peterson, would you like to stay for dinner?"
You know, I would love to. Unfortunately, I just ate, some old orc hide, you know, and I would hate to overeat and then not sleep well. You know, the many pains of a traveler. Always, you know what they say, a rolling stone gathers no moss. I think I should be going quickly.
And a big Arachne comes from the back, even bigger than Lazob, with this, like, human male kind of body. They come through, like, stomp, 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 and they take a look at you. And their face, you know, it's very, like, jagged and edgy. There's no facial hair or anything, but they have long, flowing black hair. And they just look at you and say, "Honey, we shouldn't let our guests, we don't have to force them to eat. They probably can't even eat guts and other things. Why did you bring him here?"
"I'm sorry, Gregory. I thought, I was guiding him through the tunnels to get to the mainland, and I thought I was just being hospitable.
Honey, you know how weird it comes off, especially with your, look, she's a smoker. That's why she talks that way. She's been smoking for years, man. But sorry, what's your name, Peterson, she said?
Oh, yes. Salutations. My name is Peterson. I'm the last sole surviving goblin of the Eastern Spirit Goblin tribe. I told, your wife, I think, all of this earlier. Or at least your partner. I don't know how you guys commit. Anyways, this whole dynamic is really throwing me for a loop and maybe thinking I was, a little prejudiced before. I apologize. I'm embarrassed. It's a pleasure.
Oh, don't worry about it. Gregory, put her there, man.
Which one? There's 8.
This guy, everybody. And you just hear, the shaking of legs. It's like, that's how they laugh. A bunch of spiders shaking.
Peterson hides a cringe.
I totally get the stereotypes, man. There's enough about goblins, too. I just try to be aware, do my part and just, judge a person by who they are.
You gotta get woke, you know what I'm saying, these days?
Yeah, get woke, dog. Anyways, yeah, so, you're getting through the tunnels. Actually, I work in spider construction. I worked on the tunnels down here in the pathways. Lazob's probably had a hard day of work being a guardian and all that stuff. So, do you want me or her to? And Lazob's like,
let me do it. It's my desk.
Okay, honey. Jeez.
I'll give a great review on Uber. Uber climbs, sorry, it's dumb. I will give great reviews, but I am curious. We are, in a cave further inland. How will this lead us to the mainland?
Oh, it goes down and under that sea, and it just goes. It's a smooth operation, honestly. I don't want to brag, but my work is pretty top notch. Anyways, you go down to go to Arania, which is Arachne village, basically. This is just our house, and then you just go through there, and then you'll probably pop up just on the other side. Away from that Church of Friel or whatever.
Logic.
Just
dumb, right? Who cares about logic?
Oh, man. Super judgmental.
All hail the goddess of beasts, am I right?
Yeah, well, I kind of a spider atheist, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, you know what? To each their own.
I appreciate it. All inclusive here, man. Do whatever you want. But anyways, and then as he's talking, you see right below you slumps down just a webbed sack, and it's thunks on the table next to you. You're still standing on the table, and you see another Arachne person come down. He's like, "Yo, rad guys! I just got some McDonald's. Who wants to eat?" And all the kids, you're surrounded by a lot of Arachne people, and all these little ones pounce past you and start tearing this thing up, and you see blood and guts flying everywhere.
The French flies are the best part.
And one of the kids is like, "Yeah, how'd you know? I love that part." And everybody's like, "Oh, I love Don's." And Gregory's just like, "Oh, Don's his name. It's not like a chain or anything. Don's usually taste the best, in case you were curious."
Oh.
You probably don't eat people, right? No? Yeah. Some goblins do, some goblins don't.
A conversation for another day.
No worries. And Lazob's like,
"Well, Peterson, if you don't want to stay for dinner, we can just keep going if you'd like."
Okay. I am eager to move forward. I hate to take you away from your family time. I know that's a priority.
A large intestine flies out and lands on your shoulder, and one of the spider Arachne children is on the other end, and they're slurping it up like spaghetti.
Let's
it's
go.
Lady in the Tramp, but it's just falling off your shoulder and dragging down, so you have a blood smear over your clothes, and then it just goes into their mouth, and they're like, "Done."
Lace up. Let's get the hell out of here.
As you wish.
And you go through more tunnels, and everybody on the way is like, "Bye, Peterson.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Gregory. Pleasure."
And Lazob lets you through and says,
"Yeah, so usually, it's kind of communal living. That was all my family and 324 children. But it's, to get to the city, you gotta go through other people's houses. That's just how we Arachne people do it."
You know what? It probably fosters a close sense of community.
It really does. It really does.
It wasn't too unlike that in my village back when it was alive. Anyways.
Yes, you keep making awkward references to death.
Sorry, it's
It honestly makes me uncomfortable.
part of the shaman shtick, I guess. Anyways, I'll talk less, walk more, I guess.
All right.
And you go through different tunnels and winding pathways. There's a part where even you like slide down in a circular tunnel that just like goes down like a spiral staircase. And then Lazob says,
All right, hold up. This is Arania. Yeah, so this is going to be a little hard, because you can't walk upside down or on ceilings or walls.
Okay.
Or can you?
I am a decent climber, but I can't go upside down. Nothing like what you can do.
All right, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to web you and stick you on my back.
Okay. Back buddies.
Kind of like one of those baby harness things.
Okay. This is very new to me, so.
Lazob webs you up and sticks you. Actually, they stick you on the front like a baby, so you can see.
Oh, this is better.
And they take off, and you see the like cave opens up completely into a wide open space with web bridges branching off everywhere and so many spider people crawling along them. Lazob immediately like turns upside down and is crawling upside down on this just large thick strand of web. And you're just seeing everything kind of upside down, but all the web kind of leads to this giant like cocoon in the center, and it's suspended by all these strands of web and everything. And you are just going through, and it seems like it's rush hour for these spiders because there's just a lot of them going back and forth from the cocoon, the main part of the nest. But you take all these like web bridges, and it's like you hear the tick-tacking of their legs. And some are like, "Oh, hey, Lazob! Hey, Lazob, how's it going?" And she's just like,
It's doing well. I'm just transporting a goblin.
And you're just kind of on the front like a baby, just kind of like amazed, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You've never seen anything like this.
I'm like not saying anything, like I'm doing my very best to look small and unnoticeable, and I'm probably trying not to throw up.
Yeah, actually, make a Constitution save.
Ah, damn it. Okay.
You shouldn't have mentioned it.
11.
You throw up in your mouth, but you swallow it. Yeah. Because you're like flipping and rolling all over these webs. Some arachnid people look at you kind of oddly, and like some look like they want to eat you, but clearly, since you're with Lazob, nobody's going to harm you.
Okay.
They lead you through, and they lead you all the way down to the bottom of this open cave room, and you actually hit the cave floor, but it's still covered with lots of webs and things. You see this is kind of the breeding grounds of Arania. There's all these spider eggs, and there's these other arachnid people who are kind of like the nurse mothers, kind of, or the wet nurses for all these like kids, and spider eggs. It just seems to be like the breeding ground. So it's kind of gross, and you see all these eggs, but you lead through it, and there is another open pit at the end. There's like eggs all throughout the walls of this pit and the edges, and you go down, and there's still eggs and stuff, and you get to the bottom, and there's just like the newest hatchlings are hatching. You see the miracle of birth, of spider birth.
Ugh.
And you throw up in your mouth again and swallow it because it's rude to just throw up in basically a spider nursery.
I'm just gonna quickly say, Lazob,
Yes.
how deep are we right now?
Hard to say.
Are we under the ocean?
Oh, at this point, yes.
Unbelievable what you can do.
Yes. Us spiders are quite capable. Especially my husband, Gregory. He's the best.
Well, now you're showing off a little bit. I mean,
Can't I just be supportive?
yes, that's fine.
And Lazob leads you through the nursery, and there's a web sign that's like in different color webbing is labeled mainland exit. And this is like, there's no more like traffic here. Nobody seems to be going down this path. and actually the webs are much less here. It just looks like a cave, but the webs are virtually non-existent. They really peter off. It seems as though no Arachne people really go this way. Lazov drops you off here and says,
Could you make the rest of the journey on your own?
I can, I suppose. I don't know what to say. You have done such a service for me. I wish there was some way I could repay you.
No, it's just doing a good deed is enough for me.
I suppose the Arachne are quite undersung.
We are.
It's unfortunate. If I ever have the chance to make it up, or to repay your kind, I will.
We will gladly accept. You know, out of all the monsters, I think us Arachne people relate to goblins the most. So, farewell, and good luck on your journey. It will take a day through this tunnel, and then there should be a ladder at the end that leads to the mainland. You should pop up in the middle of a woods. It's kind of a hidden entrance.
All right. Live well. Lace up.
Goodbye, Peterson.
and they scurry off, and the cave mouth is before you.
Wow, so strange. Like, he just leaves. She just leaves. Wow. Okay. I am gonna glance down it with my mask, and unless I see, like, a phantom, I'm gonna raise it up so I have my dark vision, and I'm just gonna start going, I guess.
You get going, and you're in the dark, and it seems just eerily quiet, and it seems like nothing. It's a very narrow pathway, and sometimes, you have to squeeze through because some rocks kind of fell and blocked the path a little bit, but you keep going through. It seems like you're in almost uncharted territory. Somebody had to chart it to build it, but it seems like you're probably the first one in a long time to go through.
Do I hear anything? Like, is there any dripping? Is there any, like,
There is
whispers?
no drippings, but sometimes you hear at certain sections, some water above you, or some like bashing or like booms or some other ominous noises. But there is no like dripping of water.
Okay, Peterson hates that sound, and whenever he hears that, he like starts walking fast.
You keep walking fast, and you keep going and forging your path. It does indeed take about a day to get through here, and you're tired and dirty. Did you take time to nap, or did you just keep going?
I kept going, man. Under the ocean?
All
No
right.
way.
Just before you keep going, and your mind starts to get to you in your exhaustion, and you feel like, man, are you ever going to see the sky again? But then all of a sudden you see a ladder, a little, like, it's like a webbed ladder. The ladder has some webs on it, but it is like wooden, and it's on the side of this wall, and you get to it and you look up, and it just goes straight up for a long time. Do you want to climb?
Just curious, does the tunnel end here?
Yes, the tunnel ends here.
Man, so interesting. Okay, man, how high does it go?
You can't see the top, because you're pretty deep underground.
Man, I am gonna rest.
This is like a Minecraft thing where somebody hit bedrock by digging one like cube straight down.
So like, how tall is the tunnel up? Is the chute? I mean, not tall. How wide is it?
You can't see the top yet.
Sorry, how wide is it? I mean,
oh, how wide? It would fit like one person. Yeah, like you, like one Arachne person sized hole could climb up.
Okay, so it's like a manhole.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm gonna, if I can't see the top, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna rest, at least a short rest. I'm gonna rest for like an hour, try to, so I have enough energy to get up there.
For sure. Yeah, you rest, and nothing comes. Nothing comes. It's completely silent. And you wake up from your just short rest.
Okay, I'm gonna spit on my palms, and I'm gonna start climbing, I guess.
You start climbing, left over right, and one by one, and every time you climb, the ladder makes a rickety noise. but you keep going up and up, and you climb for like 20 minutes, and you're still like, oh, it's like exhausting work. And then all of a sudden, you hear the splitting of wood. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Crap. Okay. Yes. 21.
The latter part that you were grabbing snaps off into your hands, and the sides of the ladder start splitting, and it actually starts moving towards the back, like it's tipping kind of. But you jump up and you grab onto the above ladder, and it starts cracking a little bit more, but you're so dexterous that you actually can like climb up it quite quickly. But basically the ladder at the midway point is kind of in shambles and almost unclimbable. It would take some repair, but you made it through, and you hear the clunking of wood falling all the way down and echoing through the cave. And you're like, woof, made it. But the ladder is still secure, even though the bottom half isn't connected anymore. And you keep going and keep going, and you hit a rock ceiling. You see the ceiling, it's just a rock, and you touch it, and it's like it just like lifts up like it's on a hinge.
Huh. Okay.
And you go and push it, and it opens, and this boulder like flips open, and you climb out, and the light of morning shines down, and it kind of like hurts your eyes a little bit because you haven't seen it in so long, and it's just blinding a bit, but then it clears, and you peek your head out of the hole, and you see a beehive in front of you, and you look around like wooden beehives, like a beekeeper would have.
Oh.
And you look around, you're like, you're not in a forest, you're in a beekeeper farm. What is going on?
Right.
And what would you like to do?
I'm gonna get out and silently, as quietly as I can, close the boulder.
Okay.
And I'm gonna skulk low, and I'm gonna look around to see if there's any people.
You hide behind the boulder after closing it, and you're a little shocked that nobody's moved this boulder. It's kind of out of place in this whole area. But yeah, you don't see. There's a few trees and everything, but it really is mainly just beehive after beehive. You're clearly on somebody's property. There's the boxes and the nest and the hives and everything, and there's a little like kind of country style house just about like 100 feet away from you. And there's like, a little like wood shed kind of thing for like keep maintaining the bees, and probably where they keep some tools and vests. And you actually see coming out of that little wood shed is someone in full beekeeper wear, like the full suit. And they have a little spray thing, and they're going around checking from hive to hive. Make a stealth check.
Okay. 4.
Oh, here I go. Just going to feed these bees and... hello? Can I help you?
Salutations, fellow, person. My name is Peterson.
They hold up their spray can like they're a little afraid of you, and they're like, wait. Are you from Mirage? You one of theirs, man?
Mirage, no, I have no idea where that is. I am a foreigner, new to these lands, and I simply seek directions, and I will be off your property post-haste as fast as possible.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh, this is not my strong suit. 17.
You're not one of the Mirage boys? Then you're a friend of mine!
Great, that is great to hear.
They flip up their beekeeper mask, and you can see it's a tabaxi. It's a cat person with some orange fur. And they come up to you, and they're like, oh, sorry about the get up, just take care of the bees. And, nice to meet you. My name's T-Bone Nightrunner.
T-Bone, salutations. It is a pleasure. And I just gotta say, Peterson is kind of going by the seat of his pants. He is, he's very not used to friendly behavior like this. But I don't think he's ever seen a tabaxi before, so he's kind of playing it by ear. Okay. I'll say salutations, and he'll shake his hand.
Nice to meet you, Peterson. What you doing? You come for some honey? I can. We just gotta stand out front. Maybe you got confused.
I have never had honey. I don't know what that is.
You've never had honey. Okay, you're in for a treat. Okay, come with me, Peterson. I need to show you something.
Lead the way.
And he leads you just to the shed. And you see there's kind of this like honey processing plant here. And he says, here, just take your finger, dip it in. And you see the golden honey is flowing down from this little into a jar at the end of this machine. And it's just flowing down. He's like, that's where he's pointing. Just stick your finger into that little honey golden waterfall.
All right. I do it.
Now, put it in your mouth.
Okay, I do it.
It's like angels are singing. Peterson has never tasted something like this in his life. You've pretty much always just had like, what food have you eaten most of your life, actually?
Just scavenger stuff. So like leftovers, like wild berries and, probably small like squirrels and small game. And then like carcasses that like we scared birds away from or something like that.
So this is completely new. You've never really had anything sweet like this. Maybe a few berries, but like nothing like this.
Yeah, nothing like
overwhelming your senses. And T-Bone is just looking at you being like with a giant grin. He's like, how do you like it?
Do you know what? I think Peterson, he probably cries. I think he's so overwhelmed at this warm weather, this friendly, like I think his senses are overwhelmed, kind of, and like such pleasure of the sweetness. I think like he tries to hide it and he quickly wipes it, but he says it's good. It's very good.
Yeah, I cried my first time too. Don't worry, buddy. And he pats you on the back.
Thank you. I wish I had gold or whatever it is you use as currency. I have none.
Just the smiles on your face is enough pay for me today. But next time you pay. So Peterson, what are you doing here? You didn't come for honey, clearly. You never had any.
No, I am traveling. I'm looking for what I believe is called the Great Library of Ulm. I've only heard myth of it and its structure, but I've heard that it is a place to find endless knowledge of not only incantations, but of proverbs of the wise. Oh. And I was at a famous building myself not too long ago, a wizard's tower, and that's where I read of the Great Library of Ulm.
Yeah, you're a greeter, right? That must be where you are. That's the second grand treasure.
A greeter? What is that term?
Peterson, where are you from? Are you from the moon? Because clearly you don't know anything about anything. I'm a little shocked. No honey, no knowledge of greeters?
I come from a small, isolated village. Very close to here, but we didn't get out much.
That makes sense. Homeschooled you must be. Yeah. Don't teach it. I say the public education system. That's how you go. You homeschool them, they miss out like this.
Well, I mean, look at the honey. The proof's in the honey.
The proof's in the honey. That's where it is. That's where all the proof is.
I would be most obliged. You have already done me a great kindness. But I would be most obliged if you could point me in the right direction of the Great Library or to a place that could also point me there.
Well, if you're going to go to the Great Library, you're gonna have to know a little bit more than a direction. Why don't you come inside? We'll have a meal with the wife, and we'll just I'll give you information.
I am going to give him an insight check. I mean, I am just going to look to see if I see anything off.
Okay, perfect. Make an insight check.
Okay. Break me. What is it? 11.
This guy is clearly a cannibal. No, he seems like a genuine dude.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I follow him.
He takes you inside his country-style home, and it's beautifully done, very, very like vintage decorations. And you go to the kitchen table, and in the kitchen is a female tabaxi with white fur, and she just turns and she says, Oh, hello, guests. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Pim. Well, Pim Nightrunner. What's your name?
Greetings, salutations, Pim. My name is Peterson.
Well, nice to meet you, Peterson. Honey, is he? And he's just like, oh, he's just a customer, and he needs some directions. So I thought, why not bring him in? And she's like, oh, okay. And she's just like, is eggs and bacon okay?
Yes, I love snake eggs. They're delicious.
Okay, well, these are from chickens, but okay. I do have snake eggs in the basement. And she goes downstairs. And T-Bone goes to you and says, oh, Peterson, so, second grand treasure, let's get right to business. It's a ways off from here in the desert. It's a bit north, so you're gonna need several carriages. I don't think anyone from Lundy is gonna take you all the way. You might find someone, but do you need to get there soon or anything? Or?
The sooner the better. I have a few pressing matters that are contingent upon me learning things there. Yes, the sooner the better. Long story short.
Okay, well, how about you help around the farm, or the bee farm for today, and do some chores, and then tomorrow is market day in Lundy, and I can take you in there, and we can maybe try and find somebody to give you passage.
That would be incredible. I would not know what to say. Besides, you have my gratitude, T-Bone.
Oh, no worries. We all gotta help each other out. And you guys see Pim comes from the basement, and she starts cooking a meal. You guys talk, just chatting. Do you talk about your backstory at all to him, or like your life, or do you just kind of have casual conversation and allow him to like geek out about bee stuff?
I would love to tell him more, but I'm learning that, or I'm quickly realizing, and Peterson's realizing too, that he has no idea what the reaction would be for him being from Dawn, like the monster place. So he's quickly realizing there's not much he can say without alluding to the fact that he's from Dawn. So, like, he really trusts this guy, but he's gonna like defer to listen more often, I guess.
Okay. So the meal passes, and you just pretty much sit there listening for the most part. He tries to ask you some questions, but you kind of deflect them or give vague answers. And the dinner comes and goes, and he says, "Oh, Peterson, all right, if you don't mind, I could really use some help just bottling the honey and then putting it on the cart for tomorrow. If you don't mind helping me out."
Of course.
Okay, thank you. And he goes out, and you go with him back to the shed, and you just start bottling honey. I want you to make what check for bottling honey?
The love check.
The love check. I kind of want to say animal handling because it's bees, but
that makes sense.
We'll just say dexterity check.
Okay.
See how efficient you are at this.
18, baby.
Okay, you're pretty good. You're a natural. You're really scooping it. You're getting the right amount. It's not like you're going too much, too little. And he's impressed with your work. And he's like, "Well, Peterson, man, you didn't have to go to the second grand treasure. I might hire you as a hand here. Could really use it these days with the Mirage Company in and everything, and impeding on my territory." So
you know what? I'm still bottling honey at this point, I think, and I'm just gonna say, you know what, T-Bone, you've mentioned this Mirage Company multiple times, and the hardships that they inflict upon you. What is it? Who are they?
Oh, it's a rival honey farm, the Mirage Money Honey Farm, and well, I didn't make this farm. It was my grandfather's, and then it was my father's. It passed down to me, and then the Mirage Farm kind of started up and is quickly taking over our business. They say, well, I've tasted the honey, and it tastes fake. It's more sweet for some reason. I don't know why, but people are swelling to them, so our sales are going down a bit. But no worries. Loyal customers come and go.
That is that's fascinating. This is unrelated, but where is this place?
Oh, it's like a 5-minute walk from here. It's pretty close.
Oh.
Yeah, that's also a problem. A lot of their men, that's why I thought it was you at first. You were one of their men. A lot of them come over and sometimes they rough stuff up and they, tip over hides or do some other things. So I wasn't sure if you were trying to do some mischief.
Well, they say, location, location, location. And competition is fierce for honey, apparently. I can see why.
Yeah.
Give me a moment, T-Bone. I have to go, nature's calling. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to be... Peterson is very much wrestling with some intense emotions right now, and I'm trying to think of a way that I can get in touch with Laysop.
Okay.
I am going to conjure an animal.
Okay.
And I don't know if this will work. I'm gonna conjure a peregrine falcon, or the fastest bird that Peterson would know of.
Okay. Falcon works.
Okay. And I'm gonna say, wait here, bird. I'm gonna go inside, say, Pim, sorry to bother you. Do you have a pen, a parchment and quill?
Oh, always on me. You always gotta have one. And he takes it out of his pockets and he hands it to you.
This is great. Thank you very much. And I just gotta go take inventory down. And I leave. And I'm gonna write, Laysop, meet me, if you can, in the bottom of the stairwell tonight. I have a huge favor to ask. And I'm going to tie it to the falcon's leg, and I'm going to try my best to communicate to this falcon. It has to obey me, but it only lasts for an hour, this bird. It only exists for an hour. So I'm going to communicate my best. I'm going to say, Griffor, I want you to go deliver this to... And I describe Laysop the best I can, and I try to imprint in its mind the best I can how to find this arachne. And I'm going to tie the message to its leg, and I'm going to send the bird on its way.
Are you sending it through the tunnel or like just overhead? Like over the sea?
Man, it's too dark down there. I'm gonna send it over the sea.
Okay. The falcon nods and goes, and it's pretty fast, and it starts flying off in that direction.
Okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back inside and say, sorry about that. That was crazy. I guess my body's not used to chicken eggs. The enzymes are crazy. Very nutritious, though, I can tell. Let's get back to bottling.
And you guys get back to work. And the sun falls, and you have another dinner meal with Pim and T-Bone. And T-Bone leads you upstairs afterwards, and you're like exhausted from a hard day's work and like all the traveling you did. And he leads you to a guest room with just a comfy bed. And are you just gonna go to sleep? Pim and T-Bone are just gonna sleep for the day. And he said in the morning, you'll be going off to the market with him in Lundy.
Okay, I'm gonna say, actually, T-Bone, if it's all the same to you, I don't really like heights. Is it all right if I sleep either outside or in the warehouse? I just I'm more used to that kind of accommodations.
I mean, sure. If that's what you're used to, then go for it.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go sleep out there.
In the warehouse or just under the stars?
Under the stars. And as soon as I see the lights go off in their bedroom, I'm gonna try to get up as quietly as possible.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
Okay. 18.
Yeah, you're getting up and they don't hear you. They fell asleep fast.
Okay. Oh, man, this is so dumb. And I'm gonna climb. I'm gonna lift up that rock and I'm gonna climb down as best as I can using my night vision. And I'm gonna go to the very bottom of the ladder that I can.
Okay, you go to
Safely.
the bottom to the part where it's broken off.
Okay.
And you can see the bottom from there.
Okay. and I'm going to call, Lace Up, are you there?
No response.
Lace Up. Still nothing.
No, still nothing. No, like spider legs. No, nothing.
I'm going to, against my, oh man, this is such a bad idea. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna cast Conjure Animals again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna summon a bat.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell it to go look for a spider down the tunnel for maybe like an hour's distance of flight, and then come back to me and report if it found one.
Okay. The bat conjures, and it's flapping its wings next to you, and it nods in agreement to what you're ordering it to, and it swoops down and goes down the tunnel out of sight.
And I'm just going to wait for an hour. I'm just going to like loop my leg around the rope and get comfy and just wait, I guess.
After a half hour of waiting, make a perception check.
Gosh dang it, man. Freaking, but my perception's high. 14. Nope, 12. Okay.
You just notice you hear some footsteps and things. You just hear kind of movement, not from the cave, but above.
Okay, how close are the steps above me? Like, are they right above me?
You're kind of too far down the ladder, and you didn't roll high enough. You can't really tell. You just kind of hear some echoey movement.
Okay, I'm just assuming. Man, I have no idea what it is, but Peterson is gonna think he's emotionally charged from these Mirage people, and he's gonna start climbing up the rope as quickly as safely possible.
Okay.
And then yeah,
you start climbing up the ladder as fast as possible. You've been waiting down there for a half hour. You climb up to the top really quickly. It's not too far, and yeah. You see the rock top again is above your head. What do you want to do?
I listen for more. Do you know what I'm gonna listen for more footsteps, and I'm gonna look through my mask just in case. But I'm mostly listening for voices. Just to clarify, like I know my mask doesn't let me see through walls or anything, but it's just a force of habit he's used to now. Like yeah, okay.
So you put it down. You can't see through this wall or the rock. But you make a perception check.
15.
You hear voices, kind of faint, but you put your ear right to the rock and you can hear some voices being like,
all right, get that one. Make sure you get that hive. Make sure you get that hive.
And you hear spraying. And the voices are just kind of being as quiet as possible, but you hear spraying and footsteps.
I'm going to, as quietly as I can, open the stone and sneak out.
You open the stone and make a stealth check.
Man, ancestors, guide me. Peterson is saying the same thing. I am going to use my goblin paw and roll again. So that's an item I have.
Yeah.
It's literally the same number.
What'd you get?
8 plus 2, so 10.
You creak open, and it makes a loud like as you're opening the rock.
This is so unfortunate it didn't do that the last 2 times.
But you see out there's these people in beekeeper wear, but T-Bone was wearing a white beekeeper suit, like traditional, like white and yellow, you know? These guys are wearing blue beekeeper suits with like black gloves and boots, but their hats are all on and everything. And they hear and they all kind of like freak out, and you can see they have these little spray guns and they're spraying the hives, and they're all like, oh, what is that? Go. And they all kind of just like start scurrying off in the woods to the direction that T-Bone said Mirage was, like, you know, a 5-minute walk away.
Okay.
But they're kind of spooked by the noise. They think somebody's walking up or somebody's trying to catch them.
Can I still see them?
Yeah, they're you can see them just going right into the woods just on the outskirts of the farm. and they're kind of like jumping over like a fence and going. But you see them as you're coming out.
How tall's the fence?
It's really small. It's just like a really basic one plank kind of fence. It's like 3-4 feet tall.
Okay, in that case, I promise I have a spell slot for this, and I promise I know more spells than this. But I'm gonna conjure animals, and I'm gonna conjure 4 wargs, which is like those dogs that goblins ride, and I'm sick 'em, and if I can't do it with Arachne, I'm doing it with wargs, man. And I hop on one, and I'm chasing those guys down to kill.
So the 4 kind of feral dogs, the wargs, appear, and they're kind of large enough for you to ride, Peterson. And you hop on one, and the 3 go in front of you, dashing off into the woods, and you're riding behind.
And I'm going to pull my mask down just because it's badass as hell.
Okay, yeah, you pull your mask down, and you can see the faint glows of these people. And they're running through the woods, kind of tripping over themselves, and they are scared, and now they hear dogs like barking basically, and they're even scared. They think like, T-Bone got new dogs and security and everything, and they're freaking out, and they're running. One trips over a log, and a warg jumps at it, and you want them to attack, right?
Oh, kill him.
Okay, yeah, roll.
Okay. I have no idea how to control these guys. Oh, 16. Okay, does that hit?
Yeah, that hits. Okay, so they fell down, a warg jumps on top, and they start clawing and biting at their back, and you hear their screams. Roll damage.
Okay. 2d6 plus 3. 11.
Yeah, it bites through, and it's bleeding, and they're screaming, and it kills them. It's just clawing them to death. Beekeepers aren't the most, high-level people.
Half-orc beekeeper, baby.
And they're dead. And you can see, as it tore open the bee suit, it was more tabaxi people. Like, it was more cat people.
Ooh, remorse. Okay, keeps going.
The wargs, the other 2 are chasing the other ones down. In total, there was only 3 beekeepers doing this job. I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
So one of them's down. 2 of them are still running. Roll for both those wargs to attack.
Okay.
I imagine it's going to be 1 each.
Yeah, okay. This one is a 14.
Okay, that hits.
Yes! Okay. The next one, also a 14.
Yeah, that hits too.
8 damage on that one. On the first one.
Okay.
And then 13 damage on the next one.
So the first one pounces, and the other one kind of catches it and is grabbing its teeth, but it falls down, and it's holding its face, the warg's face away from their own, so they don't get bit. But it starts clawing and scraping at its chest, and it's bleeding. But that tabaxi is still alive. The other one gets taken down, just completely sideswiped by the other warg, and is just maimed again, and dies. So the one is just alive barely. They're bloody, but they're holding open this warg mouth, and it's snapping at them, and they're screaming, and they're like, "Help! Somebody help!"
Okay, I'm gonna snap my fingers, or I want a cool snap. Anyways, I'm gonna snap my fingers and say in Goblin stop to the warg, and I'm gonna ride up, and I'm gonna look down at him, and I'm gonna, in common, I'm gonna say, "Look at me, beekeeper."
The warg hops off. The teeth that were sunk in its hands leave, and it's bleeding through its gloves, and it's just lying there on its back, and it's heavy breathing. It's just "I'm sorry, don't kill me, please don't kill me."
Where's your chieftain? Surely you are not he.
No, I just work for Mirage Farms. I just work for Mallory.
Where is she?
She's at the farm. She's in the house.
And I'm gonna go "Yep" to all the other wargs. And I'm going to say, if you survive, you would do well to leave here and never return. And I'm going to slam my heels, and I'm going to ride to the farm.
You ride to the farm, and
with all the wargs,
get there.
if I can.
With all the wargs, yeah, they drop, the 2 that killed their prey, they have meat and blood all over their faces, but as soon as you snap, they all ears perk up, and they start riding alongside you. looking back, you can see the tabaxi like limp, kind of like struggles to stand up, but then starts limping out of the woods, like in an opposite direction, trying to run away from you. And you ride through the woods, just like you're gunning it. So you get to the other edge of the forest, and you see this giant, like 7-foot tall stone wall blocking the perimeter of this property. It's like a full-on estate with like so much land around it, but it's all walled off. What would you like to do?
Okay, I'm going to, with hand signals, I'm going to whisper, I'm like going to gesture to my wargs to stay silent, and I'm just going to lead them around until I find like a gate or something.
You start moving alongside the wall. Just keep following the wall until you find the gate. You take a left turn, and you see it opens up into like the plains, and it's less woods and trees. It's just more open area, and you can see on this side of the property is this gate. And there's 2 sword wielding tabaxi just standing there, and they seem kind of bored. One's in a chair, and the other one's kind of leaning up against the wall, smoking a pipe.
These guys look a little more capable than beekeepers, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to cast... You know what? I'm going to make use of these dogs, man. I'm 2 of them on the left one, and then I'm going to go with the other remaining one, and the one I'm on, we're going to sick the right one.
Okay. Make a stealth attack or a stealth check first to see if you can sneak up on them and make it like really just a stealth attack and overwhelm them.
Oh, baby. Okay. Nope. 7. Dang it.
Yeah, you don't. You like yip, and they immediately turn and draw their swords, and they're like, "Who's there?" And you guys all just pounce. So roll to attack for every single one of them.
Okay. Okay, that'll be 18, natural 1, and then 24. And then my attack, I guess, 17.
So only 2 of them hit.
Okay, it's basically 1 per side.
So roll damage.
Okay. So the warg that hits on the left is going to deal 12 damage. And then then my attack is going to be... Well, I have never played for this many NPCs at the same time. My attack is going to be... I'm going to use Primal Savagery, which is my melee cantrip. It's 2d10. And it's 15 damage.
So the 2 wargs attack the first one, the one closest to you. They pounce. He dodges one of them, and the other one like sinks into him and slams him against the wall and starts clawing and biting. But they're alive. The other one, though, again dodges one warg, and then you riding on the warg cast Primal Savagery, and it's like claws come out of your hands and your teeth get sharp, and you just like drive by, swipe his neck, and immediately kill this tabaxi, and they fall to their feet. The one other tabaxi is going to try and attack this warg that's on him right now.
Okay.
That's an 11.
AC 13.
All right. Okay. Well, they try to grab their sword and raise it, but the warg like slams their hand back against the wall, and they can't even raise their blade. Roll to attack again.
Okay. Frig. 9.
Okay. That does not hit. They somehow try to bite, and he like moves his neck. But you could attack with any of the other wargs. We're kind of in combat now, so.
I'm going to cast Toll the Dead, which makes a really loud bell sound, and it's like psychic necrotic damage. I got to roll to see if I hit, though. 12.
Okay. That doesn't hit. But this bell tolls off, and they, even though they're right next to it, it doesn't like hurt them. The bell alerts everybody inside the estate past the gate. You see a lot more lights in the windows starting to turn on.
Okay.
What would you like to do? You still have a few more wargs that you could attack with.
I'm gonna sick them all on this guy. They gotta kill him.
All right. Roll to attack.
Natural 1. This guy is amazing.
Okay. Again, he's like Neo all of a sudden.
And then the last one is 24.
Okay. He's like, he's getting real confident right now because he's like, I'm dodging all these. The bell didn't hurt. And then all of a sudden, this warg just like comes up from beneath, grabs his ankle in his mouth, and like drags him out. And it's just like flailing him and throws him against a tree, like with just swinging him with his jaw. And his spine cracks as he hits the trunk of the tree. So he's dead.
Okay, I'm going to get one of the wargs to fetch his body and bring it to me. And I'm going to get the other 2 wargs to... No, you know what? I'm going to use Shatter on the gate.
Okay, go for it. I imagine that... I think that just works for it, right?
I mean, it'd be super sick if it did. I hope so. I don't know.
Rule of cool. You... The wargs all, like, assemble next to you like the Avengers. And you cast Shatter at the gate, and it just goes boom, and the wood explodes into chunks, and it makes this hole in the gate, and the door kind of like collapses over. And as the dust kind of fades from the collapse and the explosion, you see standing on the porch of this estate is a female tabaxi in like a nightgown, and all these 6 other tabaxis with like axes and bows and swords standing on the porch. And the voice comes out and says, "Who are you? What are you doing?"
And I'm going to say, in the deepest voice that I can summon, man, I wish I had thaumaturgy. I'm going to say, to everyone who lives on this estate of Mirage, leave by tomorrow noon, or else I will return and wreak far more damage than I have this night. And then I'm going to point my open palm at the house, and I'm going to cast Fireball.
Okay, intimidation.
Wait a
check.
minute, I can't. I'm going to burn my 4th level spell to cast it.
Oh, you are? Okay, yeah, you can do that. Okay, and you are going to cast it just at the house, not at anybody?
How many floors is this house?
It's just 2 levels.
Do you know what?
But it's like...
Screw it. I'm going for Mallory, man. I'm just going right for her.
Okay, no intimidation check needed then. You're gonna just blast it off right at them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna just blast it off right at them. They're gonna make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
And everybody else is gonna make a dexterity saving throw too.
It's let me just double check.
It's a 20-foot radius sphere around that point. So everybody is in that. They're all on the porch. Okay. Wow. Okay, so only 2 saved, and they were the 2 like side guards, one with an axe and one with a bow.
Those guys are heroes, man.
Everybody else, including Mallory, did not save. So roll your 8d6 fire damage.
What am I doing? This is so stupid. Okay. 26 fire damage.
Mallory is standing there with 3 guards basically on either side, so 7 in total. And she just yells out, "What are you doing? This is the Mirage Money Honey Farms. You can't just break it out. What did we even do to you?" Then you're like, "Shut up." And they shoot off a fireball. And she's just like, "Oh, damn." And boom, the front of the house explodes. And shrapnels of the porch are just raining down. You can see some of the beehives. There's beehives all over the property, and you can see some of them are like even tipping over, and bees are like getting startled and like coming up, and you can hear the buzzing of them. They're all freaking out, and you can see the smoke dissipates, and 2 very wounded guards like stand up, and they're like, "What the hell, Mallory? Mallory, are you okay?" And they run over, and they're like, "She's dead! She's dead!" And they're like weeping and everything, and they like pick up their weapons, and they're like, "You!" And you see people from around side, other beekeepers in the back, like 15 more people start trickling out the sides, and they're like, "Mirage Farms is not falling today! Kill the intruder! Kill this psychopath!" And you can see like a mini army of more tabaxis with swords and beekeepers just with regular spray things and grabbing like rakes and pitchforks are kind of forming in front of this house. And you are standing there with your 4 wargs and you're on top of one before them. What would you like to do?
So, damn. She is stacked. She had a lot of people.
It was a full-on company.
Dang
Big
it.
family. And the house is on fire right now. Like it's caught on fire and it's blazing up and it's like it's lighting up the night so it just seems like it's daytime for everybody.
Man, I am just gonna... Man, I know that this is not gonna happen, but I'm just gonna, like, look behind me and pray that I see any arachne behind me.
You look behind you, and it's just open field. You are alone.
Okay. How many of them are there? 15?
Now there's 17, including the last two, people.
And they're spreading out, eh?
They're pretty spread out, and they all have weapons.
I'm gonna back up. Me and my wargs. My 3 wargs kind of in front of me. And I'm gonna cast... How far are these guys from me?
They are 20 feet from you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm gonna cast... I mean, I don't know if I can do this. What I'd like to do, Seth, is cast Toll the Dead just to make that loud bell sound ring out. But it's it's the closest to thaumaturgy I have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again. And then I'm gonna say... let this be a warning. I'll say it again. Leave Mirage and never come back, or I will return and do much worse to you. And then I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead again, make one more ominous bell sound, and I'm gonna send my 3 wargs in to kill as many as I can, and then my warg is just gonna ride into the night, not towards T-Bone and Pim, because I'm realizing that this was an awful choice. And I'm just gonna run towards Lundy as best as I remember him describing how to get there.
Okay. So you toll the bell. Make an intimidation check first.
Okay. Ancestors guide me. What have I done, Seth?
You've ruined a bee company.
7.
You got 7?
Yeah.
They are not convinced. And your 3 wargs charge into them, and they all scream, "Ah!" And they charge into the wargs, and you're kind of like bailing from the situation. And you can see the wargs and the people are just about to collide. And then you hear da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yes!
You hear a web like splat on the ground, and you turn around and you see just in front of the moon, you see glisten. There's a spider-like arachne figure, and they slam down with a spear into the ground, and a little shockwave sends everybody flying back. Lazob's high level, and you can see it is Lazob here. The wargs have like fallen back, and they're a little intimidated, and the people kind of fall down or stumble back a bit, and they see this, and these people have never seen an arachne before, and they're like, "What? Demon, monster, demon!" And they grab their pitchforks and fire, and Lazob just goes,
Foolish mainlanders.
"Ah!" And then she just like screams and just stomps her spear into the ground, creating another kind of like thunder wave. And they kind of take damage and go falling back. And she successfully intimidates them.
Yes!
And they're like, "Holy crap." Like, they can tell the power gap between them and this monster. And they're like, "What have we done to deserve this? Run! Everybody run!" And they just disperse. They start climbing the stone wall. They start diving in the back. They are just running for their lives. Because to them, basically, they were sleeping, working one night. And then all of a sudden, their house gets exploded. And a demon spider person shows up on their doorstep. But they all run off into the night, leaving the Mirage estate.
Wow. So there's like a huge fire, but besides that, everything is still.
Yeah, there's just the fire roaring, and you can see the outline of Lazob in front of you at the gate.
Okay, I'm going to round up the wargs, and I'm going to trot up to her, and when I'm maybe like 5 or 10 feet away, I'm going to park it, and I like to call my wargs Ma, Pa, Claw, and Bra. And
Brah!
and I'm going to get off, and I'm going to walk up, and I'm going to say, I didn't think you got my message.
Your message? No, well, there was a bird that came, and at first I ate it, and I noticed it had a letter on its leg, and I coughed it up, and it was from you. I don't like being here on the mainland. It feels wrong. You weren't at the bottom of the tunnel.
I apologize, Laysop, and circumstances forbid me from being there punctually, but it may be hard for some to see, but I believe we did a good thing today. There are honest working people over there, and I gesture towards to T-Bone in Pimsland, and we say, who have rights to this land, as you have rights to yours, and I hope to have one day myself. And we did a good thing by helping them keep it.
Persuasion check.
Okay.
I want to see if she believes this, or if she's moved by it.
Okay. 16.
Perhaps there are some decent mainlanders. You're one now, so you count. But I don't belong here. I should get back.
Of course, but Laysop, I must ask you, do your people have any desire, even within, quietly, to have a foothold on the mainland to call their own?
We are content being under the ground.
Well,
But I could go for some mainland honey.
ooh, well, there's tons around here, and I gestured towards the honey things. I said, but apparently it is not good. But if you come with me, I will show you a truly wonderful thing. I'm gonna bring him back with all my wargs back to T-Bone. Do you know what? I'm gonna do it as quietly as I can, and I'm gonna go into the warehouse and bring out some honey to lace up.
Okay, yeah, you can do it quite quietly, and you bring out a jar of honey.
Lace up while I give it to her. Well, first I'm gonna pry it open, and I'm gonna get. I don't know if you can open this with your pincers. Anyways, here. And I'm gonna say, I want to show you something. And I pull out this this stone that I have in my pouch. It's like a black opal stone. I'm gonna say, this is a magical item that I found where I last lived. And if enchanted properly, it has the capacities to grow into what I believe to be is a village. And since I lost my goblin tribe, I have aspirations to plant this in a good land and to grow a new home for goblin kind, where perhaps they are not the downtrodden. And I know you're content where you are, but there'll always be a spare bedroom for Laysop and her kin there one day.
Arachne people don't like showing emotion, but you can see her lip kind of quivers and her spider-like fangs kind of like shake, and she's like,
That is very kind, Peterson. There is always room in Arania for you.
And Gregory's welcome too, and everyone bring Don, a good helping of Don, some French
He
fries.
and Gregory had a fight and we're on bad terms right now, so maybe not him.
Oh, I hope it wasn't because of me.
It kind of was.
Oh no, I totally saw that happening. Sorry, you'll work it out.
Yeah, it's like a flash in the pan. Two strong forces like us. It happens.
Well, you guys have great chemistry.
She kind of like chuckles and shakes her legs, and
She's like, well, I'll be off. Thank you for the honey. And don't get into any more trouble.
I won't. Thank you, Laysop.
Laysop goes down underneath the rock and down into the tunnels.
I look at the fire. You know what? I sit against the house. I push my mask up to rest on top of my head, and I fall asleep while looking at the fire burning in the distance.
And you do so. And then you awake to the door of the house opening, and T-Bone's there being like, breakfast, if you want it.
Oh, good morning, T-Bone.
Good morning, Peterson. How'd you sleep?
You know, great. Better than I have in days. And I go inside to eat some chicken eggs.
And he passes you. He's like, I'm just going to check on the bees. See how they're doing.
Okay.
And you go in and start eating breakfast, and he rushes in. He's like, Peterson, what happened to the bees? They're dead.
What? All of them?
Oh, no, but a few hives. What happened? Did you fight in the night or something?
I run outside, and I look, and I guess I look for the first time at the damage that was done there.
Yeah, and you don't see too much visible damage, but you see, like, there's dead bees on the ground, and the stuff that they were spraying before you got there clearly was, like, poisonous to them.
T-Bone, I'm so sorry. Halfway through the night, I got cold, so I went into the warehouse. I must have missed something happening out here.
Persuasion check.
Seth, come on. Don't make me do this.
You gotta.
Ancestors guide me. 17?
Peterson, you were the only one out here. How can I trust you? 4 hives don't just die like that for nothing.
T-Bone, I promise I would do nothing to harm your bees. I'm in love with what you have here. I would do anything to preserve it.
I think you should leave for now.
What?
I just, my bees are part of my family, and I just lost hundreds of family members, so I just think you should go.
I see. I am very sad. Peterson's very sad, and this doesn't affect me at all on any emotional level. And I am...
Just so you know.
I am going to nod, pull my mask down, and cast Fireball. No, just kidding.
Another house burned to the ground.
I'm going to... Do I have any spells back?
You had a long rest, yeah.
I'm going to start walking and start jogging and running. And then I'm just going to jump into the air and cast Conjure Animal. I'm going to summon a giant owl, like a giant owl, and I'm going to fly to Lundy, I guess. I'm going to fly away.
You fly away. Off. And you look back as you are flying away, and he's just kind of like holding onto one of the hives, and just you can see he's weeping. And Pim comes out, and she goes there to console him, and you're flying off. And from above, you can see clearly like their estate and the burned down ashes of the other estate. Just in like the Mirage Family Bee Corporation. The Mirage Money Honey Farms is in shambles and destroyed, and it seems empty. And you fly all the way to Lundy. Lundy's actually not that far, especially by flight. And you land. Do you want to land on the outskirts? Do you want to land in the middle of the town, or?
Is it cold here? I forget. It's only cold in Mana Snow, right?
It's only cold in Mana Snow. It's like just like early summer here, pretty much.
Okay. I'm gonna land maybe like a 10-minute walk outside the gates.
Okay. You land outside the gates, And people you can overhear are talking about, like, did you hear what happened at Mirage Farm? Something happened. It destroyed. Giant spider attacked and things like that. People are kind of gossiping about it. But you can see it's market day, and there's all these vendors and stalls. And you're walking through the streets, and somebody pulls you aside and is like,
Hey, do I have a deal for you?
you need some pills? You need some pills? I got some pills if you need some. What do you say? And then somebody else pulls you to the side and says, no, look at your clothes. Ugh, it's stained with some gross stuff. You reek. What about one of my fine linens? Do you need any clothes? What the hell? I didn't say okay, Google. Sorry about that. Somebody pulls you aside from him and says, no, look at you. You reek. You look so dirty. You've been crawling in the dirt and everything. You need some clothes or something? And then all these vendors are trying to persuade you into buying their wares.
I'm kind of in a shock, a haze, but I am going to... I'm going to ask... No, I'm not going to ask any. I'm going to walk into like a clothing store, I guess. I'm going to try to get some clothes that look relatively like fitting for the land.
Okay. You walk into a store, and it's called Furballs, Furs, and Accessories. You go in, and it's mostly not like everyday wear, but it's just lots of like hats and coats and things like that for cold weather. But you think, hey, why not? Might as well, look through, maybe buy something. You don't know where you're going to end up. And entering into this store is where we're going to end your prologue. Because this is the store that you meet Darian and Zippy. And that's the end.